Hello, Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, and Chiron. Welcome to Easy Does It, your 2025 mid-year reading from Planet Waves. I'm Eric Francis Coppolino, your astrologer for the next hour or so. Thank you for joining me for this reading, for purchasing the Easy Does It series of readings, or for being an astrology pass holder. It is good to be with you. I'm moving along on these readings, a little bit behind. I thank you for your patience. I am emphasizing getting it right and emphasizing quality, and I am not rushing through these. So when I'm late, you can be sure that's what I'm doing. That is why. So thank you very much. Before I get into the astrology, I want to talk a little bit about the state of humanity, so much as I am able to observe it in various capacities in which I work, one of which is as a public astrologer and as a private consulting astrologer. And of all the things that are concerning right now about the world, from a personal standpoint, the thing that I find to be the most challenging and the most concerning is that we seem to be living in a time when this resource that was previously known as the future, and a resource previously known as potential, one sense of potential, one sense of what is possible, are evaporating very quickly. If they're not evaporating quickly, they have already been totally transformed into something else, something that is unrecognizable. And there's a lot of different metaphors for this. The state of debt, the entire economy is based on debt. That is a consumption of the future and a consumption of potential, because instead of fixing things and making new things, we're going to have to be paying for, we as a society and many people as individuals will have to be paying for old things. And also the movement of time has been accelerated such that pretty much everyone is completely disoriented and confounded by the state of the world, and a lot of which is a state where all of the natural cycles have been disrupted and where everything is moving very, very, very quickly. It is moving so quickly that no one has time to process anything that happens. And it wasn't that long ago that humans were, as designed, walking across the face of the earth at 5 or 10 miles an hour. Not 10, not even 3, 4 miles an hour at the most. A very fast runner, 6 or 7 miles an hour going across the landscape. And horses are a relatively new thing for humanity, and you're still riding along the back of a natural creature that is acting within its natural capacity. And so here we are now with airplanes flying at near the speed of sound. Your average passenger jet flies near the speed of sound, and communication at the speed of light, and you can get on a interstate highway and fly along at 80, 85 miles an hour and not get a ticket. And the pace of change, the pace of technological advancement, incredibly fast. And this is all part of the dominant environment that we live in. And it is very difficult to see and feel this for what it is, except as some kind of crazy discomfort, some form of a difficulty processing reality and being within existence that is very difficult to describe. A kind of extreme discomfort, and for many a sense of whiplash. And I imagine that there are a few people who are able to register this as too much change, too fast, and people are getting left behind every time this happens. So we have, on the one hand, this sense of extremely rapid movement in all ways, mental, psychological, emotional, technological, and correspondingly out of control change. Literally, no one can control the change. The technology environment, the computing environment, falsely called artificial intelligence, is a runaway train right now. And then mixed in with this is this sense of, how is it possible to have any sense of your own future when things are moving that fast? Your sense of your future is like based on an understanding of, okay, this is what I'm doing now, this is what I'm doing today, and this is maybe what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm going to work for so many years and maybe get this done. And I realize there's fallacies in this, and a lot. I get that part, but actually, it kind of works okay for a lot of people to be like, well, I've got engaged this lovely woman, and we're going to have a 2-year engagement, and then we're going to get married in 2027. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. So here we are in this extreme, rapid onset of everything, and then all of our concepts of time and of purpose and of growth and of development are basically collapsing. And we're left with wondering how to measure time, how to measure potential, how to measure our sense of purpose, how to measure our sense of being, how to know when we're in alignment with ourselves. All of this is made very near impossible, except that we have astrology to be able to help us. We have astrology to help us measure natural cycles, which themselves have not changed since time immemorial. If you were to give a modern astrology chart to an ancient astrologer, they could probably read it just like we can read ancient charts today, and we have a sense of what is going on, even in a chart cast hundreds or even thousands of years ago. When I asked one of my teachers how far back a modern astrologer would be able to read an ancient chart, he said, pretty much back to the beginning, pretty much back to the days of Eudoxus, 2,400 years ago. That is a very interesting thing, because that provides an element of stability. It provides an element of continuity in the human experience back to a time that was far, far, far pre-technological. Indeed, when the most advanced technology was something like a Roman bridge, which they're still standing. You can still go to Europe and see them, Germany, France, Italy, and see these Roman bridges that are still used, aqueducts that are still used, and then also the technology of the alphabet. The Greek alphabet, the Roman alphabet, very similar to our alphabet, are all those were the dominant technologies. And note that they're still pretty important. So I bring all this up to, first of all, acknowledge the crisis of existence right now. We have to acknowledge the crisis of existence to deal with it. And second, what is the use of astrology in this time? What do we do with astrology in this time? And I bring it up further, especially for the sign Cancer, because your astrology is all about your potential. Your astrology is all about what you can do, what you want to do, what you need to do, what you are becoming in the context of what you know is possible. And then also, what is vitally important is that your potential is being released through a process of growth, through a process of self-actualization. And I've been explaining this in all the signs. And if you've watched any previous sign or really any reading of mine in the past few years, you may understand my Aries theory of the solar chart, that solar astrology, which is really all astrology, has